recently I felt a little bit directionless in life. Like there's all these different ways I could go, and I'm just not sure which one is the best. And I don't really feel a pulling towards any one of them. And it's gotten to the point where if someone were to hand me a map of my entire life, point on it exactly where I am right now, I still don't feel like I would know which way to go, even knowing exactly where I am. But I think I know a way to pull myself out of it. And to test this theory, I'm going to be walking from where I live right now in the northern part of the city of which I live, all the way down to the city center to catch a parade tonight. And by the time I get to the parade in the center of the city, I'm hoping and thinking I might no longer feel this way. Let's see if this works. So if I'm being really honest, it kind of seems like it's gonna rain. And I'm running just a little bit late to get downtown in an hour and a half. I think this total trip is supposed to take me like 2 hours, and I've got about an hour and a half. So this is gonna be interesting. Okay. So now that we're in a little bit quieter part of the city, let me explain the basic fundamentals of this theory. When you feel lost, when you don't know where you want to go, when you just are not sure which direction to turn, what you should do is just pick a direction. It doesn't have to be your end all be all. You can always turn around and go a different way. But you should just pick a direction and not like an arbitrary, like far off in the future. In the immediate now, pick something to head towards right now. And it can be something as simple as like, I'm just gonna get outside and go for a walk in a specific area. Or I'm gonna pick a really short-term goal and head towards it. I think, or at least my theory of what I'm testing right now, is if you just do that, if you just pick a place to head towards, you're gonna start to feel a little bit more direction. My end goal in life is definitely not to walk to this parade in downtown. But I think by walking to the parade and just making that decision that this is the direction I'm gonna head in, I might gain a little bit more clarity of where I wanna head in other places. Because I've started to exercise that muscle of picking where I wanna go and actually going there. I think when we feel lost, we're putting all of the pressure on ourselves to make the direction that we choose be the right one. Be the one that, like, once we get on that path, that trail, our entire life circles around it, or it becomes our entire life. And I don't think that's the way it is. I don't think when you just get on a trail and you start walking, you're gonna feel that way. My grandfather, who's a really smart dude, used to repeat to me and my family this quote from Yogi Berra, which is, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. I used to work for this company that was a travel company, and the CEO of that company used to tell this story about the lie of the linear path. So there's this idea in our culture that you get on this path, maybe when you graduate from college with that specific degree, and you get in a job that's in line with that specific degree, and you just keep working and you keep going and you keep following that same path until, I don't know, eventually you retire or something. And what he used to say is, that's just not the way it works, at least anymore. Maybe 50 years ago it did. But life isn't really like that. It kind of zigs and zags, and you decide to go one way and then you go another way. And maybe it's not as much about figuring out which way you want to go as in heading a specific way and just seeing how it feels, and if that doesn't work, kind of going a different way. Okay. So it has officially become mathematically impossible for me to get down to the center of the city by 6. So I'm gonna divvy. Don't hate me. I'm out on an actual bike path now, so hoping I can make up a little bit of time. What I didn't account for, in addition to just starting a little bit late, is that filming while you do things takes just a little bit more time than if you were just to, you know, do it. But now, I'm thinking I should be good. So how's this theory holding out anyway? This idea that if you just pick a direction and you start heading there, you start to feel like you have more direction in life. I think it's working. Do I feel like I have my entire life figured out because I decided to ride my bike down to the center of the city? No. But I think the feeling of feeling like you're directionless in life is the feeling like you need to figure out your entire life by finding a direction. And I think doing this exercise has helped me to let go of that just a little bit while I've been filming and riding and trying to put on the front brake while going around a turn. Oh my God. It's added a little bit more adventure into my life. And I think it's more importantly than that, making the path that I'm on, being a young professional, living in a city, trying to figure things out, feel like more like my own. Like this feels like something Adam would do. I'm stopping because it says don't go. There's no cars, so I'm gonna go anyway. More than how I feel right now, what I'm really hoping, and the reason I started filming this as a vlog, is that when I go back and edit this, yeah, I'm talking to you, future Adam, that I'll feel really happy and I'll be smiling when I'm watching it because I'll be like, oh yeah, that was an adventure. And remember, Adam, you like adventures. So you just made a normal Saturday into an adventure. You made the path that you're on into a life that you want. Whoa, bump. These divvy bikes, they don't have shocks. I think one of the other things we tend to do when we feel directionless is we really don't feel directionless. We kind of know where we want to go and what we want to achieve and what the things we want out of our life, but we just feel like we can't do it. Like it's kind of beyond us. Oh, there's a slight incline here. Whoop. And as in effect, what we kind of do is we just shut down because we tell ourselves we can't have the things that we really want. So we kind of freeze, we feel a little numb. And I think we do that, oh boy. We do that because we're looking too far out. We're not realizing that it's not like A to B. Nowhere's like that. Before you get to where you want to go, you usually have to take several paths. I heard of General McChrystal, one of President Obama's head generals, speak about 7 years ago. One of the things he talked about was this idea in life of needing to pick strategic objectives that allow you to accomplish your overall goal. The idea being, and he was a military guy, so he's talking in military terms, if you want to take a town, sometimes you got to take the bridge first. And I feel like a lot of us go through life and we try and just go straight for the town. And we get to the town, having crossed the river, we swam it, we're out of breath, and we get to this walled town and we just can't climb it because we're not rested, we don't have the team that we need, and it's just impossible. Whereas instead, if we would have taken our time, built some friends, taken the bridge, maybe we'd be able to walk up to that town with a little bit more energy. Who knows, maybe the people in the town would welcome us in. I like to think about it that way. In summary, for some more practical advice, instead of saying, I want to be a famous movie star, or I want to have a family, and just focusing only on that, and getting kind of depressed when you're nowhere near making that happen, which is where feeling directionless or lost comes from. Pick a goal that gets you headed in that way, that helps build a foundation to get there. I think you'll start feeling a little less lost, a little bit more like you have control over your life, and a little bit more like you have direction. Okay, so I'm in the right area. Now all I have to do is walk over that way a little bit, which is northwest, and I'm there. You know, in truth, I've never really been a city person, but this part of the city is really beautiful. Okay, so I'm almost to the place where I'm gonna meet my friends. But I wanted to say one more thing on this whole picking objectives and goals and figuring out your direction in life. If it isn't clear by now, what I've tried to do today is, instead of picking some big direction I'm gonna go after in my life, I just picked a small one. I picked something I was gonna do today and started making progress towards it. First, I was walking, then I was riding a bike, but eventually I got there. And I think that's really good advice for anyone who's struggling in life to find direction or who feels lost. Instead of trying to make a big decision about what way you're gonna go with your life, just make a really small one. Pick something you're gonna do today and focus on that. And then when you get there, pick something else. And I'd suggest the reason you pick a goal to go after for today is around something that brings you joy, around something that's gonna be fun. I came here down into the city because I wanted to meet my friends, have some fun, and also support my girlfriend who's in this parade. So that's why I'm here. And I don't know exactly what's gonna be my next goal, but I'm going to pick it because at some level it brings me satisfaction. If you're struggling where to go, I think what you should do is pick something you're gonna do today that will bring you joy if you do it. It doesn't have to be big, it can be small. And day by day, pick a new goal, pick a new objective. And it can lead to something bigger. But if you're really struggling right now, don't focus on that. Just focus on one thing that you're gonna do today, that you're gonna accomplish, and go from there.